Hello, everybody. Welcome to Maximum Libertarian. I am Brian.
I'm Dean. I'm here. We're here doing another podcast here at Maximum Libertarian, where you need to go over there, click the like button, smash the buttons, all the buttons, share it to your friends and family, and make sure you're watching it here on YouTube. And there's other things that Brian will tell you about to go to.
Correct. You just have to go to MaximumLibertarian.com. That's where you'll find all the links to all of our sites so you can watch and support the channel. There's some updates I need to make to the website and just typical house cleaning things to do. But I guess we'll just go on and, I think it's been a week now. Well, it's been over a week since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I thought there was really everybody's going to be, and even now people are still giving a lot of talk. I mean, this is just something that's not going to go away anytime soon. Um I guess we can just start with you, Dean. Did you see the video? What was your thoughts?
See, a lot of the stuff came out about it. I had seen a post, really early post, that somebody says Charlie Kirk was shot, and I'm like, of course we're libertarian. You know that Charlie Kirk is a Christian, right wing Trump MAGA guy, and everybody should have the right to talk about their um, their views. He was good at debating people on campuses. I thought he was a good person as a whole. I might not agree with all his politics, but he's a human being, and that's where we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But yes, I saw that, and then I saw the videos, some of the unfiltered videos. And man, I've done 23 years in fire EMS, and that was a graphic video. I don't look it up. Don't try to find it. It's not worth you watching unless you want to have brutal nightmares, because it was really nasty and really sick. So I'm just happy they caught the son of a bitch who shot him. So
Yeah, I mean, when my buddy had sent it to me, I was actually, so that would have been on a Wednesday. He sent me a text message, and when I saw that it said like Charlie Kirk had been shot, I was expecting like someone had shot him more in the chest area or torso. I was not expecting to see what I saw, but as soon as I saw him get hit, I immediately started to Google just to see, was this a real video or was this a fake video?
it was real, and it was sick. There is a lot of stuff out there that says he was wearing a bulletproof vest, so it may have bounced the way it hit him in his neck. It may have bounced off the bulletproof vest and hit him.
Well,
Um,
there's so much speculation. I mean, I've heard everything, and now you're getting now we're in that seems where was there more than one shooter, people around them giving hand signals. Yeah, I mean that's the problem about like with social media and things of that nature. It's like just give it a second. We'll see. Let it play out for a minute. You got to let this thing breathe because right now there's so much hysteria going on. I don't know if we're getting everything like because I was hearing it came from behind him because his hair
no,
moved. I don't know. The guy was. This was on Bubba the Love Sponge, so
it
it
was a
came from behind. It rattled in the head. It came out the neck. Is that possible? Maybe. I don't know. Uh,
shot was, by the look of the projection in the videos that I saw, come from the front. So it come from an angle above, and just by shooting in the past, the shooting guns as a Second Amendment right, um, at the range, when you shoot at a higher level towards the ground, it'll have a certain angle, and he was definitely elevated. So that goes to what they were talking about, him being on a building and shooting a sniper style to hit him. But there's a lot of saying that Charlie Kirk might have been wearing a bulletproof vest, and it hit the bulletproof vest and bounced up and then hit him in the neck, which is very possible, based on the range they're talking about. But what comes down to, Brian, is the man was just talking and debating peacefully with people on a college campus. He wasn't being violent. Of course, a lot of college campuses are liberal and democratically run, but if you ever watch any of his stuff, and I watch TikTok and other places, just because he has a really interesting. I don't like I said I don't agree with everything he says, but he had some very interesting comments on and debates with people, and I think he was a good person for doing that debating. I think it was totally out of line to shoot somebody. I don't think you should be shot for your beliefs and political beliefs, because this is where we're going in the world, where we can't speak our minds without the fear of being assassinated and shot. Yeah, he was a bigger person, but any one of us could be shot by the way we believe. As libertarians, somebody say, "Oh, they don't like that libertarian, shoot us cold dead," and they wouldn't care. That's the problem with the whole thing. Like, it's political violence. It's violence for human on human. In this country, we should be more united, even if we don't agree with each other's politics, because this was an unneeded death. Bottom line.
Do you think the people getting fired for celebrating his death is a good thing, or is it a bad thing?
Now, here's the thing: you say, "Oh, well, they have this First Amendment right to say what they want," but there also is a lot of workplaces do have things you sign about certain level of violence, graphics, talking to the media, things of that matter. So it does fall under probably in a lot of these places, workplaces, that they have a fireable offense. Do they deserve to be fired? I don't know why people should be celebrating someone else's death. This isn't a mass murderer that got shot. Like, we're celebrating a death of someone that somebody didn't agree with politically, and that's just bullshit. Like, there's no, I'm sorry for the curse words, there's no reasoning for it. So the people celebrating the death, I think they're getting what's coming for them, and it's wrong. Because they're the kind of people that are going to cause the problems in the future. They might cause workplace violence. You don't know. We don't know. That's the problem. The world's changed so much just in as long as I've been alive, but just in 20 years, I would say it's changed so much. Ever since I moved from here down here in 2008, that's when I started seeing the heavy socialist movement. It's been bad. It's getting worse, and we have to be alert on things. And like I said, does somebody have their First Amendment right to speak their mind? Yes. Should you do it in a workplace? Probably not. Should you do it over a written email or on a camera on a social media site? Probably not. But that's their choice. They made that choice. They have to live with the choices.
I just find it weird that people have to get on camera to say one way or the other. Either they're sad or they're happy or whatever. I don't get what was the reason behind it. And I find that that's one of the things in today's world, especially with social media and things, it's almost like people are wanting that interaction or maybe validation or likes or something.
Here's the thing.
They're hoping.
I put a thing up on my Facebook yesterday, and I just wrote, the prosecutor is looking to do the death penalty by firing squad. What is your thoughts? That's all I put up. Believe it or not, I have people from both sides of the aisle, well, all three. I would say some libertarians. I think libertarians got involved in there too. Some of our well-known libertarians, but I know of a Democrat, female Democrat, who got in there, and she's like, "I might not agree with Charlie Kirk, but an eye for an eye." So there is some sensible Democrats who believe that violence is not right. There's some out there, and that's a younger person. So not all is lost. Let's put it that way. But this world is so messed up, in the college campuses specifically are so messed up.
Who do you think's more liable or more? Do you think has more of a could place blame on social media or the media itself, the mainstream media? Because let's be honest, until 2015, everyone liked Donald Trump. When he came down the escalator, and I know this the story the Don Jr. told was he's like right before he got on, he goes, "Here's where we find out who's our friends, and here's where we'll find out who's our enemies." And as soon as he declared his candidacy for president, he became a racist. He became anything and everything. So who do you think has more to blame? The actual media? Because let's be honest, the way that they've treated Trump has not been the way now granted, it has been slowly building. I think we could sit down, not on this podcast, but we could sit down and actually more look at where it may have started, because it didn't just start with like Obama or Bush, but I remember Bush having him calling him Hitler because of the war in Iraq. And then if you probably go back when I was younger kid, I'm not seeing the Clinton, the stuff with Reagan or Bush Senior and so forth. So it's probably been building.
So what my views on that is it's the mainstream media, because you have
Right.
your NBCs and your CNNs who are very liberal leaning, and you have Fox that's conservative leaning. So it's, that's true, but we have to remember Donald Trump was a Democrat prior to being a Republican. Like, look at the facts around here. Some things are, people don't look at the whole picture. Like,
Right.
the problem, they usually don't know much about the past of somebody. Like, even Donald Trump, they don't know he was a Democrat, an independent. Like, he was a Democrat for a while. The Republican created his MAGA run, and people follow it. People call it a cult, whatever you want to call it. He has the support and the people to help him out become president again.
Right.
He did. I don't care how you put it. It's like what we talk about in our party. The people that put in the work are who gets in charge of the LNC. Whoever puts in the work, whether it be at the Mises Caucus or the classical liberals or whatever, it's whoever put the harder work in, and that goes for Republicans and Democrats alike. Whoever puts the hard work in gets it. And money has a big thing to do with it, and we know that.
But I think when you look at that, what the playbook that Donald Trump ran, I remember Josh Smith actually coming when he declared his nominee to be a nominee for the Libertarian presidential to be the presidential candidate for Libertarians. One of his things was, I said, how are you going to get around the media? And he's like, well, I'm going to go to podcast. I'm going to go here. And then what happened to Donald Trump? And I know everyone likes to now take credit. I think I just heard Dana White on Logan Paul's podcast last night, and he was like, yes, I told President Trump to go to these podcasts, go to the Nelk Boys, go to these people. And
he went on
you want me to tell you who I still stand by? I think it was Angela McArdle, and them. It maybe not directly telling Trump, but was telling people at the level where they're like, look, you need to go to the podcast. You need to go to a podcast. Other people heard it. They probably started pushing it along. And this upcoming election in 2024 or 2028, you're going to see all of these presidential candidates on podcasts.
Oh, absolutely. Podcasts will become a big thing. When you can reach, like he decided to go to the 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. He did a wrestling podcast. Now, did that go over well with everybody? No, but did it go over well with a lot of people? Absolutely. And it even got wrestling fans involved in politics and in the political process. You have to. Regular media is dying, no matter what way you look at it. Digital media is the way to go. Digital media being podcasts. I mean, not just in politics. Digital media is a big thing of what I'm starting to do with stuff in the weather. Digital media is a growing
right.
thing. Now you got to find the people that are the most practical and honest with you, because there's a lot of fakes out there and a lot of problems with some of the podcasters that are one way or another. You need to know what you're getting involved with. When you come to Maximum Libertarian, you're going to get something good. You're going to get an honest conversation with no wanting to go after the other person because of the way they believe. Between us two, like me and you've known each other for a good while, but some podcasts it's purposely done to antagonize the other group. And
well, that is something that I've talked about and to multiple people. If you listen to Tim Pool, if you listen to Patrick David Betts, if you listen to Jimmy Dore, you listen to whoever, most podcasts, they not only do they report the news, okay, that's fine. They give their opinions, okay, that's fine. But if I'm a listener, every time it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? There's never any type of like, man, you got to go out. You got to, the hope's not lost. When people are feeling hopeless right now, so they're turning to socialism, they're turning to communism, which we should be rejecting
at all costs.
But because they feel like, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, no one's explaining. Like, hey, go get that Robinhood account. When I was a kid, I don't know about. Let's see, you're 40 something.
42.
So yeah, so you're pretty close to me. I'm 50, But I remember like wanting to buy Marvel stock, Marvel comic book filed bankruptcy. And then they dropped to 25 cents a share. Okay. And this is in 95, I believe, 95, 96. I've told this story before. So I call this guy up and I'm like, look, I got $700. I just want to put every dime of it into buying Marvel stock. He's like, well, it's a penny stock. It's pointless. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. He suggested I get a mutual fund, which the mutual fund did okay, but it wasn't exciting to me, to get into like I put money into a IRA at work or I put money into here. But if I'm not excited about it, I don't pay attention to it. Story goes, 2001, they sell it to Disney. And you know how much they were. Now I had no Marvel stock. And after he said, don't buy it, it's a penny stock, it's going nowhere. So I just dialed in, typed in this ticker number of MVL, which was Marvel. And it went from, like I said, 25 cents. They sold to Disney for $31 and some odd cents, almost $32. Now, had I been paying attention, I would have been buying stock and you'd be talking to a different guy right now because I'd have a lot more money and I would have probably never went to the Navy because I'd have had so much money. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm glad I went into the Navy, understand. But now kids can get into it and buy fractional stocks. So you can buy Amazon. You don't have to buy the whole share. You can buy $5 worth. You can go around the middleman, just like with this podcast or with so many other people. Like I feel no sympathy for Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel, who just got thing. I don't feel no sympathy because they have a position. They can go online. Look, right now there's one person watching, okay? And if you look at the views for this, we can get anywhere from 3 people to watch to 50 people to watch. They get hundreds of thousands to watch. So they have we're in a different ball game here. And it's like, so in turn, I don't go, oh, wow, it sucks. Now, do I think it sucks that people lose their job for saying a joke or something? Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you bring it on yourself. These are the same fellas that said nothing about Gina Carano being relieved. Well, when Gina Carano got fired from Star Wars.
Yep.
They turned but now I'm supposed to go, oh my God, the government's targeting them. They were the ones that turned a blind eye when the IRS was targeting tea parties. Oh, let's turn a blind eye to that,
Unbelievable. Like you said it. You don't get excited when you have a 401k, put money in there. It's just money you're putting in there for your retirement. But
real quick, I have this is a Bonafide Sean. Am I the only loser watching? No, another individual just joined. If you want to come live and you could be put on screen, I will gladly send you the link, Bonafide Sean. But no, go ahead.
It reminds me of wrestling. It reminds me of Big Cass and Bonafide Sean. Because Big Cass used to say Bonafide stud. You remember in his catchphrase?
Oh yeah. I remember now.
Like you said, stocks. If you get the right stocks, man, you can make good money.
Right. So, are you still there? Okay.
Yeah,
you kind of locked up just a second,
Yep,
but no, I saw this on his page talking about the Gina Carano thing, and I thought, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, absolutely. I think Gina Carano. I mean, where were they at?
Yep. It's the government for you.
But no, and then yes, it is the government, but at the same time, like I said, we can go down, and then you can just see it just came out that the FBI was targeting Charlie Kirk and TP USA.
His wife took over that.
Well, that's good. I hope it don't die because it was a big movement. I wish the libertarians would get smart and use someone like that, a good talker, someone who can go and debate and things of that nature. And so, I think that would be wonderful.
They're still doing the get together. He was going to Virginia Tech, 24th September. They're still doing a get together there for that. So I don't know. I don't think they killed him. I don't think they're never going to kill his army of people that have backed him. And that's just the way it's going to be. I mean, they're still going to take candidates and they're still going to give them money and they're still going to push conservative candidates. No way you look at it. Turning Point USA is going to do that. And, it might get bigger because of what happened. It's the thing. People don't realize targeting a person, like I said, a individual that just had a different political view than somebody else. But
do you want to know what I'm thinking too is about this? And I'm going to beat this into dead horse. But yesterday when they were reading his charges, and they made it, huh?
They want a firing squad.
Well, I'm not in agreement with the death penalty. So in turn, even if he wanted the death penalty, I would never get rid of the death penalty. But I would never be the person who would allow someone to die by the death penalty. Because if one person is mistakenly killed by a jury that wrongfully accused them, or they were found guilty because of evidence or whatever, that's what no, you can't do that. Can't do that. Number two, there's some people that believe you might go to hell. All right, well, that sucks. There's some people that say, yeah, just fade away and you're never known. And that to me is more scary than, not that I want to go to hell by any chance, but being thought of nothing is scary to me, So in turn, I know exactly what's happening to him sitting in a jail cell.
Well, there's rumors that his boyfriend or whatever.
Right, yeah, I get it.
A trans. So, he's going to get crap for that just in its own right because the jails ain't going to have him.
Right. But let me get back real quick. When I was watching him get charged, I thought he was going to make I thought he was going to make an ass of himself. Thought he would say something, but he didn't. He just sat there. Now, is he crazy? Probably. I mean, for him to do it, you have to be. All right. But now, I think a lot of times people get spun up by online. Everyone's saying we ought to take someone out. We ought to do a violent act to someone. And then if I spin you up and say, we need to go do a violent act towards such individual, and then you go out there, you think you're going to go out there and do it, and then I'm going to be right behind you cheering you on. I turn my back. As soon as you take off out the door, I'm already like, where's he going? Or why is he doing this? I'm playing stupid. I think a lot of this stuff, people are getting spun up online, being told, you got to do it. You got to do it. And then, of course, and then final thing real quick.
It affects local. Today, William Fleming was on lockdown for a threat.
Well,
last week they had an issue in Forest. I mean,
right.
It's ridiculous. But it's a spin-off of what's going on with the violence.
If you want to have serious discussion before I start taking guns and things, let's talk about the mental drugs and all that all the kids are on, or all the individuals. That every one of them, it's not like if you're on a mental drug, it's like
pretty much what the song "Drugs" by Falling in Reverse is about pharmaceutical. Everybody's on drugs. It's a killing machine because talking about how people taking pharmaceuticals, their mind washed and get violent sometimes. And some of these lyrics and some of these songs is good to listen to because it's all about government and anti-government. Tom McDonald does stuff, but Falling in Verse is one. It does a lot of them too. Zombified, it's about us all turning into zombies, listening to the government. I mean, just there's just, if you like music, that's a way to listen to, you know, lyrically. But there's just so many people having so many problems, and this world isn't the same as it used to be. It ain't 9/12/2001 where everybody was one after 9/11.
Well, I remember Rush Limbaugh talking about after 9/11. He was saying how everyone said that everyone was together, and he said that he gave us really good speech. And I'm going to have to look it up before I start, I guess, yakking about it too much. But he was saying that people weren't as close as everyone thought they were. That was a breaking point. That was truly a breaking point. And then with what you've seen now, I do think it's a breaking point. I mean, I've never seen the country so divided in my entire life.
Me neither.
The 90s seemed perfect, you know, and then the early 2000s. And then from that point on, it seems like we've been just spinning out of control.
2008 is the real time that I saw it really.
Well, for me, I think, you know, we got into the Libertarian Party. I got into the Libertarian Party in 2010, and I was talking to someone, and I said that about 2017, 2018, when Donald Trump won the presidency or became the president, that was when I felt the Libertarian Party started spinning, and I started to lose, like,
party-wise, yeah.
I will always be a libertarian. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go, "Oh, I'm out of the Libertarian Party." If the Libertarian, like I said, if they died tomorrow, then all I would say is I would just move. I'd be a gun for hire, or I wouldn't even be in politics, you know.
Yep.
But I would not be the guy doing it. I would not be running a group.
No.
You know, because no one cares, and that's what bothers me more than anything. We need people out there like a Charlie Kirk, you know, debating, moving the message. A lot of times people don't know what to do, and we need people out there to have a debate, to have a conversation. You know, even the conversations that people, hey, just because, you know, like, hey, you don't agree with them, hear what they say.
Exactly.
Listen
and have an answer back of why you believe the way you believe, not with a gun.
Well, yeah, let's not do violence. There's no reason for violence. But I think, once again,
what do we by here in the Libertarian Party? The non-aggression principle.
Well, I understand the non-aggression principle, but it's sometimes when you get hit, you got to hit back.
I agree with that too.
You know, and sometimes I think people want to just be beat on and then treated like dogs, and then, you know, expect some other outcome. So, but I think this will be, I'm not even going to say we'll never talk about this whole incident. I thought it was a horrible video. I hated seeing it. But did you have anything else to say?
No, I was just saying we need to get smarter in this country and be more informed and be more nice. We have to be nicer to each other, even if we don't agree with each other. That's just message, I guess, about this and this whole thing. It was selfish act. There was no need for it, and this country is not better off for it happening.
No, I think we could probably do a little bit more. I think maybe one day we might talk about this again. But I know this topic's definitely not going away. I think it's going to continue on. But I don't like seeing people celebrating a death. I don't like seeing people get fired. I don't understand why people, and it's old people, it's people our age that are sitting there putting on, like, they're administrators in the school systems and stuff. It's like, why are you doing this? What's the point? You know, like, you're sitting here going, yes, I gotta let my followers on X know of my disdain for whoever. And it's like,
is most people that teach in schools, teachers and administrators, are involved with the unions, and the unions in schools are liberal. So you
And that sucks. And but that's, let me tell you something. That's
not
where,
all,
huh?
not
What's
all,
that?
because at universities, you look at Dr. Lark, he's a libertarian, but he
Yeah,
teaches
but he's few and far between.
few and far.
But let me tell you, just like with so many other things, if like I'm part of the American Legion and all these stuffs, libertarians, no one comes out and they don't hold the board members accountable for anything. And that's what happens. There's not the union's not all blue. I get it. Unions are bluer. They might in some aspects,
If you get
but because none of these union workers, they don't care. These board members come out, they just rake them, steal all the cash, put it in their pocket, and be like, "Oh, we're out of money. We need to go beg the government for more money. Otherwise, you lose your pension." Well, maybe you should be you shouldn't be. They're getting these pay increases. That's my big issues with unions. But if you're in it, you need to be active. Know who your leadership is. Know where your money's going.
Organizations, that could be. I was involved in an organization. I'm not going to say names or anything, but I was involved in an organization where I got inside of the board of their board. I'm different than most of them. I believe in fiscal responsibility and all this other stuff. And then that board basically the next year ran me out because it wasn't going to filter along to what they believed in, because I believed in saving money and being smart about how you use money, and they weren't. Of course, spiraled out to that person while I'm getting in trouble with the government anyway. That led that, and things come along, but it's always karma for something that happens. But it's just that it drove me nuts. Like, if your message isn't the same as a main board thing, you try to be the person that speaks up and fights. But sometimes you're so outnumbered that you lose no matter what you do.
I agree with you. All right, my friend. We'll go on and end it here. We're at the 30-minute mark.
Didn't even feel like 30 minutes.
What's that?
Didn't even feel like 30 minutes.
No, but just hang on and we'll talk after we go offline. And so go to MaximumLibertarian.com to find out how you can help the channel out. And until next time, I'm Brian. That's Dean. And we will see you later. Good night.